to a special edition of Dragway Memories. We've got some very rare, very excellent shots from T.I.D. first year of opening. This was a big funny car meet, first year in operation. Didn't get open till a bit later in 1970, so this is summer of 1970 at the earliest, starting off with Don the Snake Perdome, and he would have been a lot of money to book in even in 1970. Full crowd at T.I.D. You can see a lot of construction work still going on. As we move into the next image, outstanding is the Niagara Racecrafters injected small block dragster, and we need to know more about those gents. Terry Hedrick's Super Shaker with Pete Seaton at the wheel. Might have been a shortage of funny cars, so we got the injected dragster making a pass with them. Randy Walls out of California. And this machine, he'd kept it for many years, and he started back racing on the Nostalgia Tour with this car, and it burned up, and he has a more modern version of it now. But you can see big block Chevy iron heads still. They liked the iron heads. They kept them together a lot more than the aluminum heads. They torched them on a regular basis on nitro. Now this is worth the admission alone. Look at Fedden's unusual truck. If you zoom in on it, you can see the Chevy sign on the hood falling down. We've got Bill McDonald Jr. in the standard shipped 289 Comet. They still race today. They're out of the Alliston Midland area. Stick shift 289s. Back there, Donnie Cloak and his Cloak's hanger. The Jackson Competition rig with their ex-John Petrie 69 GTX Hemi convertible and their 340 Duster. Way in the back, and you can see all the ramp trucks with all the funny cars booked in show. Bob Slater's 57, Frontier Ford, Boss 302 Mustang. Goes on and on. What an awesome shot. Continuing, I'm doing a little bit of panning. You can see more of the long lineup of funny cars. We've got the Maverick, we've got the Super 442, which lasted I believe 3 races. Wasn't very long, but we got the opportunity to see it here in Canada. This is, I believe this one to be the Imperial Customs painted machine. Nelson Carter out of Oklahoma. Wayne Hartley's Chaos machine being pulled by a Boss 302 Mustang. Nice 66 Chevelle back there. And this is the Super 442. As we mentioned, it wasn't around for very long. Very unique body. And it went to 3 different races that we know of. One of them being this one here at Toronto International. It ended its career in the Popular Hot Rod Championships in Martin, Michigan. There's the Engine Masters funny car. They were from California. I wonder, the young lady with the baby, I wonder if that's Brandon Bernstein, because Kenny Bernstein did drive for Ray Alley in the Engine Masters, especially that Cougar there. And we've got the plastic fantastic Maverick, which somehow remained together and is in unrestored condition today. Talk about a time warp. Another excellent shot. And I love these shots. There's the Teacher's Pets. That's one of the 7 special Falcons made in Canada. I like the Ranchero tow rig. And this is the way it was done back then. You looked at all the ramp trucks with, you can see Randy Walls back there. Trailblazer Mustang, easy gasser. I'm suspecting it's a 289 4-gear car. I'd love to know more about those folks up against Jim Lindsay, who didn't live far from this track in Georgetown. Peppermill, H Modified Production, many-time record holder, class champion. The list goes on and on. Nickel, Menzies, and Snellgrove, they're out of Peterborough. GMC, or Chevy-based 6-cylinder Bantam. The Plaza Gulf out of St. Catharines, injected small block dragster. Again, another car we don't know a whole lot about. And the Hippie Hemi, Doug Brinjack in the back there. Let's see the brand new tower at T.I.D. This is a UDRA Pro Stock show. Again, this is 1970. More of an unlimited category. Larry Griffith, that is his 68 Dart that many of them modified into the 70 configuration, including chop the back end off, putting a new trunk lid and some welding and fitting to get the new back bumpers on, and a Midwest Nova. These two also Midwest cars, UDR circuits almost exclusively. Expect to see a bigger crowd. Whenever I was there, place was jammed. And we'll take what we can get with this shot. Bit blurry, but worthy of it in many, many respects. This is one of the last races that Rudy Held ran the Gold Gambler Prefect, as they were almost finished building their Opel GT up against Carl Rowland in the now Hemi-powered Drag Dimensions sponsored Percy also. Good crowd at T.I.D. And we got a pair of stalkers going at it. So 64 Dodge against a 70 Chevelle SS, could be anywhere from a 396 to 454. But the lane coming to the staging lanes, as of several ways to get to the staging lanes at T.I.D., has got the LO29 car of Nick Minialoff in Drag Dimensions sponsored machine. Wayne Hartley's Chaos also in line. I believe this to be a young Kenny Bernstein. This is the Engine Master's Cougar, and I know he drove that car. Whether this is him, maybe somebody could let me know, but I'm thinking this is a very early Kenny Bernstein. There it is. That's a beautiful sight. You can see that the chassis getting a little outdated now. You can see the semi-leaf springs clamped there right in front of the rear slick. Lots of weight in the car to run the Hemi, but still competitive. Ran its class in Indy, won many times. The Fahey and Witts car, ex-Porky 2 in the background, and Minialoff's LO29 car, that's the original Burke and Jensen car, now running C-Gas. And we always had big funny car meets at T.I.D, and this was no exception. Full house, that's how I remember it. Big Mike Burkhart car, Charlie Thurwanger, David Ray, and a couple of others from Texas drove Big Mike's car. He did too, but the pictures we have shows a much smaller guy at the switch here against the Snake, and that's the gentleman there. It doesn't look to be too big of a fellow, and still with the Chevy, the iron heads, as we mentioned, preferred over the aluminum ones. They torched the aluminum ones with super regularity. And we believe this to be some kind of Ford Y-block or something, Canadian car, and we could use some help. Fairly late model dragster, because this is 1970. Again, good crowd. You can see the construction work still going on. The guardrail's not even painted. But they were racing, just out in between Acton and Georgetown. My favorite place. This car is eluding us, and it's a Canadian car, but we believe much more westerly than we have at Cayuga and Toronto National Law. We don't know a darn thing about this Canadian Firebird. It says Quartermaster Industries test car. Couldn't tell you anything more. Obviously, it's a lightweight fiberglass front and doors on it, so it's a pretty lightweight piece. Running, could only run in as Alter or Outlaw Pro Stock. UDRA action car. Love to know more about it. Doug Brinjack's car, and as it says in the back, on the 7th day, Hemi came to pass. One of his last year, I think they campaigned this car another year. Notice it's right behind Percy. Also, there's Doug himself. Those two stickers on the frame rail are quite instrumental. Experimented constantly with this machine. That motor was in and out of that car a bazillion times. Different header configurations, all kinds of transmissions, and they were constantly looking to go fast. Here's our St. Catharines machine. In the background, Alex Taylor, the only year campaigning that famous car. I like the 69 Dodge Charger push car in the background. Don't know anything about Plaza Golf out of St. Catharines either, but I'm sure there's a bunch of folks watching this to clue us in. And we don't know much about this T-bucket, but it's a very nice shot. Small block injected, camel hump heads, but all we can tell you. Jungle Jim. Could be Jungle Roy Harris. That looks like Harris's car that he drove predominantly, but we don't know for sure. Charlie Allen out of California, Saddleback Dodge Challenger, doing a good job here at T.I.D. There's the infamous Super 442, and as we mentioned, didn't last long. Made appearance at Byron, Illinois, here, and then a popular hot rodding meet in Martin, Michigan about a week or so later, where it crashed and didn't survive. Super 442, you can see a late Hemi. We have a ticket here saying that went 801 at 201, so we know it went at least that fast on fuel. Great crowds. Look at all the gravel and everything. This was a new facility, as yet unfinished, but that didn't stop them from putting on a drag race. So there you go. What a great selection of very rare, very nice pictures from T.I.D. Hope you enjoyed them, and we'll try and do it again with some other very interesting subjects.
A huge thanks to these fine folks and many more for their support in bringing us Dragway memories.